Sandy here with Al with a mini episode of Conversations with Ask the Pool Guy.
Oh, right. Leaning against the wall, sitting on the floor.
I know.
At the World of Concrete show.
So we're at World of Concrete, and I guess the reason that I thought it was worth talking to you guys a little bit today is because we have found that it is great for our team and for camaraderie to attend some shows. And the shows that we're talking about are like the pool industry show. So we go to the international show, usually in Las Vegas, and then typically the Atlantic City show, which we happen to not go to this year. But here we are at World of Concrete, which is fun. We were actually just in Vegas a couple months ago at the pool show. So our love of Vegas subdued a little bit because I think
we love Vegas,
absence
but we know that,
makes the heart grow fonder.
This is true.
So it's been a great trip, and I think, one of the things that it does for us is it allows us to bond a little bit more as a team because we get to do just some kind of runaround stuff. So Mark and Karen are out on this trip with us, and it's nice to have them when we're running into people at the different booths, but it's also nice just to have some downtime and kind of, just hang out together without work priorities taking over.
I think that's a really key element is we get to all be together but not have that same work stress of being there at work together. And then also being here, like I was telling you guys earlier, how it puts my mind in a different frame where I'm able to think differently about things. And one of the things that came up today was the concrete world. Everything is built on that. The entire economy of the world is built on substructure bases of concrete, whether it's buildings or roads or bridges or just about everything. This industry that the show we're at now really supports everything, and I think that was a kind of a mind-expanding moment for me. And I think Karen really got something from that as well, as it got her to thinking about what little part that she plays in the concrete world is this little artistic something that she enjoys so much, and yet it really covers such a broad thing. And without seeing the show, I'm not sure that she would even get the sense of the expanse of what the industry really is.
Yeah, so one other little side note too, we ran into one specific booth in the pool industry, which is Latham. They've got a booth here, and Al and I were talking, especially since it's kind of like the World of Concrete and they're not necessarily going to know that many people, showing a little love on the people that they do know would be kind of a fun thing. So if you are a distributor manufacturer and you find yourself in a venue where there's not a lot of people that you're interacting with, do something special and kind of, shock and awe or love on people a little bit, because in a crowd especially like this, that would go a long way. So that's just a tip that I think we picked up for the future that I think would be a great bit of advice.
Yeah, in their particular case, there's not a lot of pool people here that they can have that interaction with. They're obviously trying to sell fiberglass pools or get distributorships for that. And my comment to Sandy was, what would have been really smart for them would be to do something with us or for us, take us to dinner or something. Not that we want a free meal, because I don't care about that. That's not what it was. But that idea of how can we build, because you have a captured audience and you don't know a lot of people. Why not do something with the ones that you do? And I think that was a really good lesson for me. And like we talked about in the future, making sure when we're in that position that we, in fact, do that.
You know what else I would do if they were a little more proactive with video like we did? We did a video with them. So that's something else to do at a show when you want to connect with people at a whole nother level is, do little interviews, capture it with your cell phone. I happen to have a microphone on the phone this trip. I'm using my LG...
whatever Android phone it is.
LG G6, I don't even know what it is. Yeah. And I have an external mic with a kind of muff on it, which is working out really well. The other cool thing about this show, as opposed to, you guys know that we do the Novi Pool Show in Michigan, the soundproofing in this venue is just phenomenal, fantastic. There's carpeting on the floor, which I think definitely helps. But then on the ceilings, there's some kind of a powder-coated insulation that whole droning noise from being in trade show centers. There's virtually none of that here. So that's another great thing that's, I think, going to help with the sound quality. I haven't tested all this audio yet, but I'm looking forward to it because I think it'll be good.
That's interesting how, like in that case, until we saw it, we wouldn't know that it was possible because most of the conventions and things have that really loud droning sound. Well, here, that one little detail makes all the difference in the world when it comes to sound quality. Again, another learning lesson.
Yeah. So we're having a good time. I think
We are.
sparking some interest. You know, the takeaways so far are kind of that the world awareness of how critical concrete is in everything. And then I think just seeing some of the tools and the innovation and things like that. You know, a lot of these companies are kind of larger scale than maybe what we'd be used to. I know I did see the Penter booth, but it's not Penter water focused. It's just kind of
construction.
a different arm of things. So it's just different and yet still really good.
Again, I think for me, it takes me out of my mind space. It gives me something new to chew on and think about and want to grow and change. And I think that our industry could use that in all aspects. And I know that I want to continue to grow and change. And I was trying to explain to Karen earlier that a lot of guys and girls get into our industry and they sort of find the thing that they do, and then they never learn something new. And how important is it to me to continue to learn, because it allows us to grow. And we can certainly forgive those that don't want to learn, but to make the industry grow in a way where obviously our customer and our clientele is a very sophisticated customer clientele that wants more and wants better. And it's our job, and it's on us to go out there and become better at it and to be able to provide more, because the people that come to us are expecting something special, and it's for us to deliver. And I think that's what being here does for me, is I just get to see all this equipment and then get to hang out around this stuff that I wouldn't normally see. And something else I've been thinking about the whole time I've been here is I see all these specialty chemicals and products for cleaning, for this, for that. We can't find those. When you're at your local market, whether you're going to a Home Depot or a specialty masonry store or shop or anything else, they don't have that kind of stuff. And I was thinking about some of the cool products here that probably never make it to distribution on a large scale, and how what a bummer that is, because there's so many cool little tricks and trades and tools and innovations that we all could use, and the only way to see it is here.
Definitely. The other thing that I think happens at shows like this is we don't necessarily have an aha about something now, but down the road we'll have a situation that comes up and we'll be looking for creative ways to solve it, and then one person will inevitably say, you remember that booth that we saw,
Bingo.
this thing?
Yeah.
And it'll kind of trigger some of those thoughts for creating things. So sometimes it's not like you walk up to it and you have the aha, but I know everything that we've seen gets cataloged for future awareness, and so that's a really great thing as well.
And that's something that happens all the time, and I'm sure on the plane back tomorrow or 3 weeks from now, someone's going to come up with that, remember that thing, and bam, it clicks and makes sense. So you're absolutely right.
I think that's part of the reason Karen and I were jealous that Mark and Al came to World of Concrete a couple of years ago, is because we heard them talking, and one would say, oh, do you remember seeing this? And the other one would say, oh yeah, do you remember seeing this?
Yeah.
So I know that kind of banter will also keep going on, and that's another great reason to bring a team, because we have 4 sets of eyes out there seeing everything instead of just 1 or 2. And we talk about this a lot in the marketing club as well, or masterminding. When you're by yourself looking at things, you have one level of awareness, but then when you look and you discuss, you have another level, and then multiply that by 4 people, we've got a huge amount of...
And everybody's seeing something from their own perspective. We all hold a different position, we all do a different thing, and so when we look at something, we all see it differently. And then that open dialogue helps us expand or grow that idea into something that's achievable.
Yeah. I think the other thing too, just about Vegas as a venue, is there's always something happening, and there's a lot of faux finishing, and there's a lot of different things that go on. So I know that we all get some interior decorating ideas as well when we're here, or outdoor structures and things like that. The place that I even got lunch from had a wall of toasters. It was so cool. They had toasted sandwiches, and I've never thought of making an art installation of toasters before, but I definitely do now.
Mm-hmm.
And their light fixture was made out of colanders with lights coming out of it. So I tend to notice that. I tend to notice rocks and stones in venues, and then I also notice the lighting.
Well, again, that's all part of it, is when you realize that there's so much creativity, and you can use anything to create art or to create visual interest. And by seeing toasters on the wall, all of a sudden it makes sense again. You never would have imagined it. And what do we look at through life? Everything we look at through life, we miss most of it. I mean, our brain just tunes out 90% of everything that's there. So when we stop and pay attention, we put ourselves in a position to be able to notice things. Really cool stuff jumps out.
Yeah.
And that'll allow us next time, when we're faced with how do we make something look cool, we'll remember when, and then do something different because we've seen innovation in the past.
Well, we've talked about insights and our office space and the Pool Guy Clubhouse being kind of an amusement park for your eyes. And Vegas is very much to a grand scale, that kind of thing. And yeah, some of the things that they put together here is where I can take inspiration, of course, for putting some wacky things together. And so, you know, anything goes when it comes to art.
Well, and that, again, going back to why we're here, is yes, it's because it's World of Concrete and we're going to go to the concrete show, but it just gives us another opportunity to see everything again and to continually see new things. And that's kind of how I approach pool design is I don't want you to see everything the first time. I want it to be fresh and new for a while. And that's what Vegas is. There's always something else to see.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Definitely. So on that note, I think this is good little mini conversations with Ask the Pool Guy. We will see you next time.
Sounds good.
Probably not from Las Vegas.
That's correct.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you later.